In the early 80s, a very mysterious new disease appeared that was reported to cause the devastation of the human immune system.
We at first didn't know what was causing this problem. There was nothing we could do at all. We had good tests. We could identify the patients, but we had very little to offer.
HIV was considered a very ugly disease. When we started saying that children can get it, that upset people. And they didn't want to believe it, because if a child could get this disease, then anybody can get this disease.
Perinatally infected children are ones who became infected during pregnancy or during delivery or shortly thereafter by breastfeeding. At the time, I would have never imagined that we would be at this point where we have in our clinic zero transmission for 20 years.
Well, my name is Carmen. I am HIV positive, and this is my fiance.
My name is Horacio Diaz. I'm the fiance.
We've been together, I would say, a good 5 years.
And I have her back and she has mine.
I am 9 months pregnant, and I'm currently going to Dr. Steck. She's very, very good doctor. Everything's going great. We're very
I'm excited. I feel anxious. I just can't wait.
So what's your husband doing?
He's working, and he just started today. Otherwise, he would have been here. He wanted to be here. It's very exciting.
We're gonna go over to the other room then,
Awesome.
and I'll let the doctor know you're there.
Perfect.
You got it?
Yeah.
I'm Alice Steck. I'm an obstetrician, actually a specialist in maternal fetal medicine. I gave myself the title of the Director of Perinatal Services at the Maternal Child Adolescent HIV program here at LA County USC. We provide a sort of comprehensive services for the entire family. Being pregnant is stressful. Being pregnant with HIV is extra stressful, and we'll try to provide you with support for that. The chance of the baby being infected is less than 1% if they can comply with the regimen.
So what do we now know about HIV? HIV is a retrovirus, meaning it cannot replicate on its own, and instead it makes copies of itself by infecting cells. Inside the viral particle, we can see the capsid, seen here in yellow, which is a protein shell that surrounds the RNA genome of the virus. An HIV particle is typically around 130 nanometers in diameter. For scale, here is the HIV virus next to its target, a T cell. The HIV life cycle begins with binding to the T cell. T cells have CD4 proteins on their surface. HIV's envelope protein targets and adheres to them. Next, extensive conformational changes in the envelope protein cause the membrane of the virus and the plasma membrane of the T cell to fuse. The fusion of the two membranes releases the contents of the virus into the cell. Once inside, the capsid travels towards the cell's nucleus. But before HIV's genetic material can enter the nucleus, it has to be converted into DNA. The enzyme reverse transcriptase converts the HIV RNA into HIV DNA, using the cell's own nucleotides to build the double helix. Once completed, the viral DNA strand can now enter the cell's nucleus. The enzyme integrase inserts the viral DNA into the cell's DNA. The virus then uses the cell's machinery to build new viral proteins. The newly created GAG proteins, seen here in orange and yellow, cluster together with the viral RNA, the blue string, at the cell's membrane, forcing it to bulge out and form a new immature virus. Protease then clips these GAG proteins into their shorter, functional forms. Once the virus is fully matured, it is then able to infect new cells. The virus is now free to move to different T cells and infect them, repeating its life cycle again and again and again.
Well, here's the crib. It's the first crib that I built. And I struggled with it, but I made it possible. I made it possible. I even put it on Facebook. I built my own crib. We got the little baby shower gift that we got. And we're ready. I'm ready. We're ready. I just can't wait.
Can we talk while the blood is being drawn? Or is it distracting?
It's probably good for her to
Probably
be
good to be
distracted.
distracted. Okay.
Good morning, Dr. Carmen.
Good morning. We're going to look at the platelets, of course, which have been good, but it's been 4 weeks, so it's time to look again. 191. Wow, they haven't been
Yay.
that high for a long time. That's
I know,
great.
and solo.
So we're going to check again, and although your viral load was fine 4 weeks ago, the pediatricians always want one close to delivery, and you could go into labor in like another 2.5 weeks or so. So let's get one today. One of the most important laboratory tests that we use in managing our patients is the viral load. It measures the amount of virus in a quantity of blood.
Without proper anti-HIV medication and treatment, HIV uses the body's own machinery to replicate itself, creating high levels of HIV particles in the bloodstream. Proper anti-HIV medication prevents the virus from replicating, bringing the amount of virus in the blood to our target level, which is undetectable.
We monitor the viral load much more closely because the consequences of having an increased viral load could be transmission to the baby. So how are you doing?
Doing good. I mean, just anxious and been a little bit in pain the last couple of days.
Where?
Like pelvic pain. So I even took a shower, just in case. Just in case I'm ready.
We didn't really see any contractions on the monitor, but if the baby isn't moving well, then you should go to the hospital the same day. Any difficulty taking your medications?
No.
Very good. Okay. The introduction of good medications, women can expect to have a good outcome of their pregnancy and can expect to remain in good health and raise their children. It's completely changed over the course of my career. In the early 90s, the first study to show that there was something that we could do to decrease maternal-child transmission was a study of AZT during pregnancy.
We were able to convince the new government agencies that were supporting early research in AIDS to allow us to give pregnant women AZT. And I remember the first baby that we gave the mother AZT, and that baby wasn't infected.
This regimen of AZT during pregnancy and during delivery and to the baby for 6 weeks, we were able to reduce transmission by 2/3. That was really, really remarkable. The people who are in training now, they have no idea what things were like then. I don't think there's really anything in medicine that has experienced such an enormous change in the span of my career. Good. Well, let's first have a look at the fluid around the baby and look at the baby's position.
Okay. Okay.
This is the head. Can you see it on that little screen? It's a big round thing, biggest part of the baby. How long do you plan to work?
And maybe like 2 more weeks.
Yeah, some people work up until the day they go into labor.
That's what happened with my first. My first child. It was an easy pregnancy, to be quite honest with you.
She drove herself to the hospital. It was amazing.
Yeah. I found out, that I was HIV positive prior to me being pregnant. I thought, honestly, I was going to die like within 2 weeks. So I said, okay, that's it. And I remember I had gone to a clinic, and I asked the lady, the nurse, I said, you know what, since I'm HIV positive, does that mean the baby's going to come positive? She said, well, yeah, because if you're sharing blood, of course he's going to come HIV positive. And at that moment, I remember breaking down. Sorry. Because I don't want that for him. And once I went to another clinic, then the doctor was like super optimistic, and he was like, no, it doesn't mean that's gonna happen. You just have to take some medicine and you guys are gonna be fine. So sure enough, I did that, and luckily my son was negative. Now with this pregnancy, I'm just happy, and I know everything's gonna be fine.
Pretty close. If you go into labor now, it would be okay. The baby would do well.
Yeah.
Is the baby been moving well
A lot.
every day?
I know last week she had flipped, so she was breached, like head up. And on by Thursday, she had already flipped again.
Oh, good. Most likely, she will stay head down.
Hopefully.
They pick the best. You know, the head is the biggest part. It's round and fits in the pelvis. You probably feel
Do I?
pressure. All right. The baby's heart rate looks great.
Awesome.
Okay, it shows all the things that we need to see. It looks like the baby's been moving well, and there's not many contractions. So
Yeah.
last time you were here was 2 weeks ago, and we did some labs. So let me review those with you. Okay. The most important one is the viral load, which was undetectable, and your platelet count remains really good, 146. That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. At the end of the pregnancy, it's the most important that your viral load remain under good control. But you're tolerating the medication, okay?
It's just that at times it kind of feels like I'm taking a lot of pills.
Well, you are. But I think they're all necessary. Carmen, her antiretroviral regimen includes Truvada, which is a combination of tenofovir and emtricitabine, atazanavir, boosted by ritonavir.
Anti-HIV drugs work by targeting normal HIV. HIV contains critical components known as enzymes that carry out the chemical reactions that are required for the viral infection to occur. In Carmen's case, this is an example of how the multiple drugs can actually target different parts of the virus. So Truvada is a fixed-dose combination of 2 reverse transcriptase inhibitors that are known as nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors. The components of Truvada mimic the normal DNA building blocks, but once they're incorporated, they block further extension of the DNA chain. Reataz is a protease inhibitor whose activity is boosted by Norvir, another protease inhibitor that can block the cutting action of the protease and cause it to not be able to lead to maturation of the viral proteins.
And I have to take those daily so that I can keep my viral load undetectable, and therefore it will not transmit to the baby. I wasn't taking medicines for a long time after my first child because I was in such denial because I felt good. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel any type of symptoms. And I got together with my fiance and I started taking them again, you know. I just want to make sure that he's going to be okay.
And I'm fine. I already checked myself and I'm okay.
You're having contractions, you feel the baby heat, right?
Yeah.
Any problems with depression?
Just anxiety. Frustration.
Tiredness. We're gonna get this baby out one way or another, Carmen, don't worry.
I know, I told you I'm going to serve you your eviction notice.
Last time you were here was 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And how have you been doing since then?
Just exhausted.
Well, that's to be expected. You're
Yeah.
already past your due date.
I know.
Well, we don't like the pregnancies to go beyond 41 weeks,
Okay.
which it would be
Saturday.
Yeah. Right, so I'm suggesting that we admit you for induction, if that's still what you want.
Tell me where to sign.
Because at this point, most women are kind of tired of being pregnant. And who knows, maybe you'll go into labor on your own before then. That would be the best.
That would be the
But
best.
yes, and we really want you to come to our hospital for that. Because we know you, the neonatologist, will know what to look for in the baby as far as exposure to the medications, exposure to HIV, the low platelets, because the baby is at risk of low platelets too.
Yeah.
It would be by far the best if you could come here. Let's have a look before we talk any further.
Okay.
Good, but if it's successful. Well, I think the patients understand that people who work in our clinic really care about them. You know, of course, we want uninfected babies, but we want healthy mothers. I hope that comes through when they come to our clinic.
Oh, look how cooperative.
She doesn't have that much room to hide now. I had like no complications whatsoever in my first pregnancy. I found somebody that was a really good doctor. He was a really good doctor, and he really took care of me. So I'm thankful, and I'm glad that I didn't just give up, you know, and that first visit. That it still resonates. But I'm hoping that if she's still there, that she has gotten more information and that she's updated. So that way other women don't have that fear. Luckily, I started looking for a second opinion, so. I consider myself very fortunate. Very fortunate.
This long girl. I'm just gonna go for the smallest amount of lab, okay? We're not gonna do all, we'll only do the one test.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
It's okay, Mom.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
No worries.
No, you know, it really helps when the parents are calm. You have no idea how much that helps. Good, calm parents here. Don't worry, she's not going to remember. So this is her second DNA test, and I want you guys to know that the first test was negative. We have the results, so that's good, right?
Right.
So today's the second one, and then we'll do another one at 2 months and at 4 months. So we got the blood that we needed today. All right, questions?
Thank you.
You guys are doing good? Okay,
Thank you.
great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We went from a program with lots of children with HIV in a relatively short period of time, having no new cases. In fact, in the last 2 years, we haven't had a new case of a baby infected, because if we can make sure an HIV pregnant woman receives appropriate care and gets the kind of care that would prevent transmission, we could really eliminate perinatal HIV infection. We've overcome a disease, put ourselves out of business, but it's a business I'm happy to be put out of.
I've been positive for 18 years. So, and I'm still here, and right now the viral load is undetectable. So they said that's amazing. And make sure if somebody tells you that the baby is going to be born positive, don't believe that. Do not believe that. There's a lot of help. There's a lot of prevention, and
It's not the end of the world.
it's not the end of the world. You're not going to die in 2 weeks. You're going to be fine. You and your baby are going to be just fine. I know.